Good evening, everybody. My name is Julia, and I was a part of the Greece team back in the fall that went to Thessaloniki. And I want to share a personal revelation with you, but I'm hoping that what you get from it is that you can see who God is and what he can do in the context of you just being willing, simply enough. So there was a day where we went to Philippi, the biblical city of Philippi, where Paul had written to the Philippians many years ago. And so after touring the city and seeing the ruins, we sat down at a very notable stream, which I had not realized at the time, but there was a pool of water, and this is where Paul the apostle had baptized a woman by the name of Lydia. And so this was the place of her baptism. And so we all sit down, we're listening to the running water, and Peter, who was the pastor of Zoe Church, who was just kind of like leading us in thought and reflection in this moment, said, okay, everybody, I want you to just close your eyes and listen to the water, picture what happened here so many years ago, and to just feel the sun on your face and just to listen and to hear from God. And so I close my eyes and I'm listening, and I'm a nature nut, so I'm loving this regardless, besides the fact that it's a very significant place. And so I'm just quieting myself, and I'm just thankful to be in Greece and to be at such a special place. And I remember thinking to myself, like, man, this is just nice to unplug from 2 jobs in grad school. And I had to work so far ahead in my studies to be able to come on this trip. I didn't think I was going on this trip. I was originally signed up for El Salvador years ago whenever I was working for the church, and here I am in a totally different context. But thank you. And then I was afraid I spent too much time thanking God to actually hear from him in the moment of silence. And I could tell Peter was kind of wrapping up and was like starting to say something and move in this moment of silence. And I thought to myself, like, that's all right. I didn't necessarily hear anything from God in this moment, but I didn't need to. Like, just being here was enough for me. And, you gotta love the little God winks that happen in life, because as soon as Peter started talking and just kind of bringing it full circle with what was happening, I couldn't hear a single thing that Peter was saying at all. It was just like the muffled noises, like the Charlie Brown voice noises that you don't know what's being said. And all of a sudden I had a thought, like almost in sentence forms, like slammed to the front of my brain. And it was undeniably God. And I have to preface this a little bit because it won't make sense if I don't. And so ever since I was a little girl, I've been fascinated with eye color, maybe because mine were just brown and I like to see all the different light variations. And I don't know if it's just a form of photographic memory that I've been given, but I always loved eye color and was always able to report to somebody what color of eyes they had. So, we were even competitions where my college roommate would pull out the old yearbook and she would say a name and I would report their eye color, and she would look at the photo and was just baffled till like 2 or 3 in the morning doing this, and she couldn't believe it because I hadn't interacted with these people. I wasn't friends with everybody. And so take that tidbit of information with this information. The past 4 years of my life, I had consistently prayed a certain prayer due to a specific event in my life, that when people would look into my eyes, that they would see Jesus, that they would see his warmth, that they would see his love, that it would just be just a true representation of the eyes or the window to the soul type thing. And so take that, now that you know. And in that moment when Peter was talking, I couldn't hear anything he was saying. Immediately, it was just like, Julia, I have made you an eyes person. That was the wording. I've made you an eyes person to meet with eyes all around the world, so that as you look into their eyes and study them and you see the color, they have an opportunity to look back into your eyes so that that prayer would be answered. And I was like, what? I don't even know what that means. I don't know where you want me to go. I don't know what you want me to do, but I had never thought about that, about those two things coming together, a weird little gift and talent combined with this prayer that I had prayed because of a certain person in my life who was that. You could look into his eyes and you could see that. And so I still don't know what it means. I could try and tell you a few things based on me being a student teacher right now, or what I see maybe happening in the next few years. But that gave me a different excitement in Greece, and it was so timely and it was so relevant because we were there speaking with Greek students, going onto a university campus, introducing ourselves, speaking with them, sometimes sitting and talking to them for an hour, maybe more, and inviting them to events at Zoe Church. It was a very conversational trip. And so it just gave me such an excitement, and there was much more significance to every conversation I had because of that, because I had recognized the significance of me being there and just being willing to speak with them, regardless of what happened. And so I share that with you to tell you that our God is incredibly sweet and personal in those moments, and you don't absolutely need to go on a missions trip to hear from God. You don't need to go on a missions trip to have ministry opportunities at your fingertips. In fact, I think we miss a ton of them here at home because we live such busy lives and we're not ready to let interruptions like that happen, whereas a missions trip, that's where you're at. However, if you're considering going on a World Reach trip and you drop your work, you drop your school, you drop your friends, you drop your family, you drop your routines, you drop your norms, you drop everything, maybe even throw in a little bit of sacrifice, a little bit of discomfort, and you allow God to send you wherever it is that you're feeling led, or wherever it is that you maybe want to be sent, there is something so spiritually valuable that you will see with God working in that context. When you are willing to put everything down for just a little bit, put down the busied American lifestyle and see what happens. And as far as the stories of Greece, please ask others, because I am but one of many, and this is a personal reflection, but as far as what happened with the Greeks while we were there, it was quite moving as well. So don't let your discomforts stop you from going to see what God can do in an uncertain situation where you just say, "Here I am, send me."